All right, so when I'm reading this problem, it's comparing two cities, and they're actually giving you the magnitude, which, if you read the problem, is the Richter scale, which is the same thing as what we would be plugging in for R. I is intensity, and I sub 0 is the intensity of a minimal earthquake. So what it's asking you to do is it's asking you to compare the intensity piece. So what we want to do is we want to set up both equations for both cities, and then we're going to solve for I so that we can know that if we solve for I for both of them, we can set them equal to each other. So if I look at city A, so for city A, it says that there's a magnitude of 8.23. So I'm going to use my formula that was given in the problem. So I have 8.23 equals the log of I, which is the intensity, over I sub 0. Now, at this point, in order to solve for I, we need to actually convert it back to an exponential. So this log doesn't have a base that we can see, so the base is automatically a 10 because it's a common log. So when I convert it, this is going to be a 10 raised to 8.23 equals I over I sub 0. All right, and remember we're solving for I because we want to compare the intensities. So we're going to go ahead and multiply that I sub 0 to the other side. So now that one we already have I equal to there. And that should be, I'm trying to do a dot there, but it's not working very well. Let's see. There we go. Between I sub 0 and log to show the multiplication. I'm going to do the exact same thing for city B. So for city B, this time the Richter scale was 6.9. So 6.9 equals the log of I over I sub 0. Same process, we're solving for I. So we can get the two intensities to be equal. And we're going to convert it. The common base of 10 raised to 6.9 equals I over I sub 0. Get I by itself by multiplying I sub 0 to the other side. Let me put that multiplication sign there. Times 10 raised to 6.9. Now, at this point, we know that we have I here and I there. So, whatever we have on the other side, it should be equal. So, we're going to take these two, and now that we know that they are equal, we can divide them by each other. So, we can actually compare the intensities. So, when I divide them, we're going to take our... It says city A is approximately this many times more than city B. So we're going to divide city A by city B. So I'm going to take I sub 0 times oh, you know what I just realized? Actually, I'm going to backtrack for a second because I realized that I put log here instead of 10. That was a mistake. I don't know. Okay. So now I'm going to divide 10 raised to 8.23 divided by I sub 0 times 10 raised to 6.9. So essentially the I sub 0 is canceled, and then you would just simply be taking the 10 raised to 8.23 and dividing that by the 10 raised to 6.9, which would give you your final answer. All right, so we're going to use that same concept. I believe you also got number 6 wrong with the Richter scale. So I'm going to use that exact same concept, same formula, same everything. And remember, the formula is R equals the log of the intensity over the minimum. So intensity sub 0. So it says, how many more times severe was the earthquake with a measure of a Richter scale of 5.8 compared to the Richter scale of 2.8? So again, we're going to compare the two. So this is going to be 5.8 equals the log of I over I sub 0. We're going to convert it back to an exponential, so it has a common base of 10. And since we are trying to solve for I, because that's what we're trying to compare, is the intensity, we're going to multiply the I sub 0 over. And if you understand that the I sub 0 is going to eventually just be canceled out because you're dividing them, then you don't have to continue to worry about it. But I'm going to keep showing you the full process. So there's the one with 5.8. Now I'm also going to do the other one with the 2.8. And again, the whole reason we're doing this is because we want to solve for I, which is the intensity. And once we know that the two intensities are equal as far as I is, then we can go ahead and compare them by dividing. So we're going to take 10 raised to 2.8. And that's I over I sub 0. Multiply the I sub 0 to the other side. Alright, and then from there, again, we now know that the I's, so that should be what we're looking for, so we can go ahead and divide those out. And we are going to take the I sub 0 times 10 raised to 5.8 and divide it by I sub 0. Raised to 10, raised to 2.8. And of course that would also, if you divided that out and you took 10 raised to 5.8 and divided by 10 raised to 2.8, it would give you that 1,000 that you were looking for. Hope this helps. If you have any more questions, let me know.